The title of this section is Introducing Your Essential Silent Partner. If I asked you who you are, how would you respond? Perhaps you'd tell me your name, or that you're a parent, a business person, a healer, a teacher, a high school student, a senior citizen. Well, I want to tell you that there's much more to you than that. In fact, you are a spiritual, multidimensional being. Now, when people hear the term spirituality, they automatically think of religion. Yet spirituality and religion are not the same thing. I resisted spirituality for a long time. However, I found that you can be spiritual without being religious. Spirituality simply means believing in something that's beyond the physical. It's believing in spirit, or the non-physical essence beyond the physical realm. When you came to this planet, your physical body was formed from something that we will call the infinite field of energy. At the instant of your birth, your potential was activated both in the non-physical and in the physical dimension. A key principle to understand is that you are not a body with a spirit. You are a spirit who has been issued a body. Now, the only way you can deactivate your connection from this infinite field of energy is by believing that you're separate from it. So the major problem that we face in life is that we have consciously or unconsciously deactivated ourselves from this infinite field of energy by feeling that we're separate from it. So how did we lose our natural ability to connect? It's interesting, in the animal world, they don't question their connection. We humans, however, with our capability to think and reason, have lost our connection. And the reason for this is that we have an ego. Our ego is nothing more than who we think we are based on our conditioning and past experiences. It thinks it knows everything because it can reason, even though its reasoning can only be based on what it already knows and what it has experienced. Because of this, your ego has formed an idea about who you are and what you're capable of accomplishing. It has a preconceived notion of what's possible for you. This preconceived notion is based on what's happened in the past. In other words, it can only decide your future based on what's happened in the past, because this is its only point of reference. So if you use your mind or your ego to create your future, you will always be limited by what you think is possible for you based on your past. Because the ego is so full of what it knows, it actually keeps us from connecting to this infinite field of energy that contains all the possibilities that we're not even aware exist. The end result is we feel disconnected or separated from this infinite field of energy that some call God. However, I prefer to call it source energy because it's the source of everything. You and I are connected to this source energy in both the physical and non-physical dimension. To better understand how this works, imagine that when you came here, you left part of you behind that still functions in the non-physical dimension. This part of you has been called by many names, such as the real you, your true self, your soul, your higher self, or your authentic self. This invisible or non-physical you could also be called your ESP, or your essential silent partner, because as you will discover, that's exactly what it is. Your essential silent partner has no limitations and has full access to everything that you could possibly want or desire. So rather than just trying to create your desires with your severely limited, conditioned reasoning mind or your ego, it's a lot easier to relax and let the non-physical you, the real you, or your authentic self help you, because it knows no limitations. The difference between the physical you and the non-physical you is that the non-physical you has unlimited access to source energy, the source of everything that exists. So that when life appears to be working against you, when your luck is down, when supposedly the wrong people show up, or when you slip up and return to your old self-defeating habits, recognize this one important fact. The reason that all this is happening is you are out of harmony with yourself. You're out of harmony with the real you or your authentic self. You have literally disconnected yourself. It's no wonder at times that life seems so difficult and hopeless. But keep in mind that even though you feel disconnected, you can never be disconnected. The disconnect or separateness is an illusion. However, if you think you're disconnected, This shuts off your ability to take advantage of the infinite possibilities that are open to you. Your essential silent partner has access to all the knowledge and wisdom that you will ever need to create a magnificent life. Your authentic self is not bogged down by your past experiences, your beliefs, fears, phobias, or worries. These are things that only your limited mind or your ego knows. But your authentic self, your essential silent partner, has no limitations and always knows what to do and what's best for you, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. Here's how it works. Your authentic or real self or essential silent partner functions in the non-physical dimension. Its job is to manage the flow of information from the unseen world to the visible world on your behalf. It's the keeper of the gate through which all messages, knowledge, and information must pass before they become available to you. Your essential silent partner, your authentic self, can help you overcome any obstacle, generate income streams and opportunities, find people, build your career, your business, your income, solve problems, create wealth, and improve every area of your life in ways that you can't even imagine right now. Because of its broader perspective and access to source energy, your essential silent partner has access to knowledge that is beyond your conscious awareness. Therefore, you are never alone in your quest for success, wealth, and happiness, even though it seems that way at times. Your authentic self, with its connection to source energy and the infinite field of possibilities, forms a support system that you can access to share your burdens. In fact, no matter what you want to accomplish in your life, you can receive help every step of the way if you know how to ask for it. Your authentic self works behind the scenes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, helping you achieve your goals. It never shuts down, takes no holidays, sick leave, or days off. It is perpetually there to take orders and to supply you with whatever you've asked for. One way to look at this is to think of your life as a movie. You simultaneously play two parts in the movie. You're both the star of the movie and you're also the director. The only difference is the actor in the movie, the star, or the physical you, is on stage on the physical plane that we call Earth. And the director, your authentic self, the non-physical you, is directing things from the non-physical dimension. Imagine your authentic self as the director of your movie. He or she has the script that you created before you came here. Your essential silent partner gives you only what you need to know to do what you need to do in the present moment to play out your script. Not knowing too much about your future, your mission, or your life purpose is actually an advantage. The mystery is part of life. It not only allows your essential silent partner to more efficiently guide you from behind the scenes, but also increases the enjoyment of life immensely. Have you ever watched a movie several times? If so, I'm sure you noticed that your enjoyment level dropped each time you watched it, because the mystery was gone. For the most part, it's better not to know all the details of your mission. You can't see what your essential silent partner sees. So all you need to know is what to do next, and then just enjoy the journey. Your end goal or life purpose is predestined by you before you came here. However, you also came here with free will. Since you came here with free will, you don't have to play out the script exactly as it was written. Just like an actor, you can improvise a script to a certain degree. Most directors will allow the actor to do this, but only to the degree that they don't lose the intention or the plot of the script. And when that happens, the director must step in. So you have free will to create your life and have any experience you desire. But many of these experiences are not in harmony with your true desires or your life script, so they turn into limitations. If you want to experience the unlimited possibilities that are available to you, then you must supplement your efforts by working with your authentic self. No matter what results you want to produce in your life, there are specific techniques, strategies, resources, people, and ideas that can be reached through your essential silent partner that hold the perfect solution for you and your unique situation. Think about what I've just said. Imagine how much easier your life would be if you were able to access these resources all the time. There would be no more struggle, no more worries, no more self-doubt. Wouldn't that be a great way to live? Well, you can live that way all the time if you're willing to open yourself up to the ongoing assistance from your authentic self or your essential silent partner. Now, let me stop here for a moment and ask you once again to please keep an open mind. For some of you, this may be the first time that you've been exposed to this type of material. All I'm asking is that you take control of your mind and not let it shut out this life-changing information. Remember, your mind will resist change, so if you feel that happening, then just let go. Don't make the decision right now whether you believe this or don't believe it. Let's just work with this a while, and I will prove to you that indeed this is the way things work, and how you can tap into this amazing system of deliberate creation. Whether you believe this or not, please listen to this and think about it. Okay, let's relax and continue. From over 30 years of study and personal experience, I'm absolutely convinced that everything and everyone is connected to a higher intelligence or source energy, and that includes you and me. This intelligent system is responsible for everything it created, so it follows that it must create everything with a purpose. What this tells us is that you and I are here for a specific purpose. I also believe that your authentic self knows your purpose and can guide you to fulfill that purpose. Consider this suggestion. Each of us was created with free will. However, when did this free will start? Some people think it starts after we're born. They believe they didn't have a choice as to whether to be born or not, but once they were here, then they have free will to make choices in their lives. Others believe that our free will is eternal, that it starts even before we're born. This is not such a strange idea, since your soul or your authentic self is eternal. Your logical mind tells you that life starts when you're born, but something deeper tells you that this may not be the real beginning. So what I'd like you to consider is that you came into this life with a specific life purpose or mission. There's something very specific that you came here to do, to contribute, experience, learn, or teach during your time here. Your purpose or your destiny is what you came here to do or be on this earth. You chose it a long time ago, and it's the reason you came here. Even the circumstances and the location where you were born were perfect for you. It was all selected by you to help you fulfill your chosen purpose. Unfortunately, many people feel no sense of purpose in their lives, and most doubt they even have a purpose. So what is our purpose? Well, let's use a little logic here. Since we came to this earth with nothing, and we will leave with nothing, you can be sure that your purpose is not just about making money and accumulating material stuff. What would be the point? You can't take it with you when you go. In the process of living your life on purpose and creating your desires, you certainly can create a lot of material or physical stuff. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But that's not your life purpose. Your authentic self chooses a purpose when manifesting as a human being here on earth. However, it needs a body to live in and function on this earth realm. The way your authentic self communicates with the body and the mind here on earth is through your desires and your feelings. Your authentic self knows why you're here, but your conditioned self, or your ego, is often off purpose. It prods you to chase after money, material stuff, prestige, popularity, love, or recognition. Yet have you ever noticed that when you get these things, there's always that still small voice within you that says, "Is that it?" In other words, you may achieve or obtain these things, but ultimately they will not make you happy. They can make you happy for a little while, but then you're on to something else that you think will make you happy. True happiness can only be found when you're connected to your life purpose. In fact, many of the problems that you experience in life stem from the fact that you're unconsciously disconnected from your purpose. Sometimes our purpose is not always rational, not always clear in the beginning, And sometimes it might even seem absurd or strange, considering our current resources and capabilities. But nonetheless, it's there. Unconsciously, most people know it's there, even if they deny it. You can try to ignore it and pretend that it doesn't exist, or believe that you really have no purpose, but it will keep nagging at you until you align yourself with it. How many purposes can you have? From my experience, I believe you can have more than one purpose. You're not restricted to just one. When you acknowledge that you have a purpose and a desire to connect to it, everything will start to work together for you instead of against you. Even if something is difficult, impossible, or risky, you'll be inspired to take the risk because you know it's connected to your purpose. This is not an intellectual knowing. This is an inner knowing. You will feel in harmony with your intention or your desire. Not everyone consciously knows their purpose or their mission, but that's okay. Your authentic self knows your purpose and your mission, and is responsible for managing everything, down to all the details, to ensure that you complete it. That's the primary job of your authentic self. How your authentic self or your essential silent partner responds to your requests for help and the way it manages the flow of information to you will be shaped entirely by its knowledge of your mission and purpose, because it can see the big picture even if you can't. The life purpose that you chose and signed up for before you got here influences all the decisions that you make. All your wants, needs, dreams, and desires are affected by your purpose, even when you don't know it. Your life purpose exerts a tremendous influence over what happens and doesn't happen in your life. As you listen to this, you may be thinking to yourself, does this mean my life is predestined? Or, how much choice do I really have about what happens to me? Your overall mission or purpose is predestined, but not the way you go about achieving it. In other words, your daily life is not predestined or predetermined, even though the big picture, themes, events, and relationships that you're involved in are. Also, please keep in mind this important fact. Your purpose was chosen by you before you even came here, when you were still in the non-physical, but you chose it. I need to remind you that your authentic self or your essential silent partner is you. It's not someone or something outside of you that's pulling the strings. You are pulling your own strings. We'll talk more about communicating with your authentic self or your essential silent partner. But first, let's talk a little bit more about your life purpose.